everyone, and welcome to today's reading. Today's reading is called Why Is This Person on My Mind? So if you have somebody who has just been popping in, saying hello, hi, here I am, and you don't know why, and you want to know, are they thinking about you too? Is there a reason the universe is trying to put this person on your mind? This video could have some answers for you. So I have 3 piles to choose from. We have the North Star for pile number 1. We have Tidal Wave for pile number 2. And we have California Sunset, quote unquote, green flash for pile number 3. The questions we're going to be asking are, who is this person? Why are they on your mind? Are you on their mind? What is the universe communicating to you about this person? And if there's any extra messages and guidance, of course. So go ahead and take your time and pick which pile is calling out to you, and I will have timestamps down below for you to choose from. So they're pile number 1. If you chose the North Star card, and this is going to be your reading today. So why is this person on your mind? First, I, as the nosy person I am, would like to know who this person is. And for them, we have the Death card. So this could be a Scorpio person. This could be somebody who underwent a major transformation. You met them one way, and the last time you saw them, they were completely different, or maybe you knew them for a short amount of time, and in that short amount of time, they did this whole 180, and they're just somebody who constantly is evolving, changing, transforming. At the same time, this could be somebody who, when they came into your life, they transformed you. So in your head, maybe you think back to, life hasn't been the same since I met this Death card person. I've never been the same person that I was ever since I had this meeting with this person. Yes, so this person, it doesn't have to be a literal death. Maybe you do have somebody on your mind who has passed away. This reading isn't super specific here, but I think majority of people here, this is somebody who changed you. Perhaps you changed them, or they just are constantly changing, evolving, scorpionic. With the Knight of Cups as why are they on your mind? Perhaps they inspire you. Perhaps you hold a cup of love for them. I'm even sensing this could be first love here, right? The Knight of Cups, he comes to deliver a message. So maybe they were the first person you delivered that message to, and so it sticks with you. They're on your mind because they're your first love. They're on your mind because you care about them. Maybe they're on your mind because they're your muse, or even vice versa. Maybe you're their muse, and so when they're writing a song or a poem or painting a picture inspired by you, you get this kind of sense that they're thinking about you, and you're like, what's going on? Why are they on my mind? And it's because you're on their mind as well. So with this next question of, are you on their mind? We have the World card, and I want to say yes. I think they think the world of you. That's always what I read from this card in this type of scenario here. The World card, it's a completion of a cycle. So some people do read this as no, but I don't understand exactly where you would just get a no from here, because with the world, it's a world of possibilities. So perhaps they think of what you're doing now, where you are in the world, maybe they think that you are their whole world, or you changed their world, again with that Death transformation card. So I think plainly this person thinks the world of you. I can't say they think of you every day, but I think they think the world of you, and they think of how you're doing today, and every now and then they're like, oh yeah, they would have laughed at this. Pile number 1 would have thought this was funny. If someone doesn't laugh at their joke, they're like, pile number 1 would have, things like that. And then with what is the universe communicating to you about this person, we have 5 of Wands. So maybe they are fighting with others about their position in your life. The 5 of Wands to me is it's a card of immaturity. Okay, so maybe you had a fight with this person, and they're trying to tell you that it was immature, that there was not a whole lot of ground to stand on. And seeing as you both are probably defending similar ground here. Why are we fighting, right? So maybe you're both like, well, I just want the best for you. Well, I want the best for you too. And it's like, okay, so why are we yelling? You know? So to me, especially in this sense, the Five of Wands is like, we had a dumb fight. And perhaps that was the ending. And so with Page of Pentacles as an extra message and your guidance, I think maybe you have to offer, or you're being encouraged to, you don't have to do anything, but you're being encouraged to offer a stable new beginning. You know, like, here, can we start again? You know, can we start again in a more grounded, stable way that leads us, you know, to set up for success here? And then with the Emperor, I'm hearing hold your boundaries, for one. You know, be assertive in the situation. So if there was a fight and there was a misunderstanding and you know exactly how to right this misunderstanding, you should do that. Nobody likes sitting around thinking somebody said something hurtful when they just heard something that, you know, was taken out of context and it wasn't about them at all, you know, whatever it is. But the Emperor, he holds his ground. You know, when you think of an emperor, he leads, right? He leads his peoples. And so I think you're being called to be a leader here. You know, sometimes we have to be the one to make the first move. Sometimes we have to be the one to send that, you know, embarrassing letter, and we feel crazy and we think it's not the right thing, but then we get a letter back and we're like, okay, so maybe we felt the same way and they were just too scared to say anything and it was up to me, you know? So be the emperor here, be assertive. And that also means be assertive with yourself, your boundaries, what you want. So if you in the past were somebody who was willing to sacrifice what you wanted in order to keep somebody else in your life or to keep them happy, then I think you're being called to stop doing that. Stop allowing yourself to be unhappy, because that's what leads to Five of Wands energy, fighting all the time. And it's just not a good place to be, pile number one. So why is this person on your mind? Because you love them. Do they think about you? Yes. Maybe they think about, maybe there was a cycle that completed with you and they think about that, and they think about how, you know, what they would have done differently if they had another chance, and they think that there isn't one. So maybe it's up to you, right? But you need to use your discernment here. So if the Death card is somebody that they're dead to you and you never ever want to talk to them again, leave it in the past. That is up to you too. So that is also the Emperor being called to stand your ground here, be assertive. And the Page of Pentacles for you could just be start a new project, you know, focus on the future that you want to build for yourself, an independent future, full of abundance, full of success, full of stability and groundedness, right? We love that. So I want to move on to your oracle cards now. With your Wild Child oracle card of Shadow, I want to say maybe this person illuminated your shadow side. I think most of us, or maybe not most of us, but a lot of us, right, go through a time when we meet somebody that makes us realize things that we need to work on maybe within ourselves. And it could be extremely uncomfortable and yet necessary at the same time. So I'm going to move this. If you are somebody who has recently, right, with this person, realized, oh shoot, I have an issue here and an issue here, I have a wound right there and a big old gaping gushing one right here, you know, maybe you never thought that you had family issues. Maybe all your life you've been like, yeah, people just focus on the negativity instead of just moving on, right? And now you've realized, wait, you know, my parents hurt me when they neglected me. You know, it's not just me being overly sensitive like they always told me. It's them not being great parents, or whatever the case is here. It could be you realize that you show up in a bad way in relationships and you're codependent, or at the same time you are distant, right? You don't open up enough. You know, expect the other person to do the heavy emotional lifting while you just get to sit there and be pretty. And you know, I think this person perhaps lit that up and showed you these areas you need to work on within yourself. That could be the transformation, right? And also maybe this person, you met them and you feel like, you know, this could be you, you know, like if your shadow form was a person. If you are an early 2000s kid and watched, what is that show? Oh my goodness, it was a movie, but it was with the Panabaker sisters, and one was older and one was younger, and she had a diary or whatever where she pretended, like she wrote a story about like if she was this perfect person, like popular and everything, and then somehow her story came to life, I guess. I don't know, it gets confusing. I haven't seen it in forever, but I'm kind of getting that, like this person was like you if you actually got to do everything you wanted to do. They were you if you got to be popular, and they were you if you didn't have, you know, that certain set of rules hanging over your head. And they were you if you had, you know, that huge group of friends you wanted, and like the sports that you didn't get to play or whatever, you know. Oh, the movie's called Read It and Weep. Okay. Yes, Read It and Weep. So yeah, maybe it was that sort of thing where it's like you always were like, man, in another life I'm like this, and then you met this person and you're like, oh my god, are you, you know. And it kind of felt like the Spider-Man meme. I just heard that from actually a tarot reading that I was reading for myself. It was a YouTube one, so it was being read to me, but they use that example too. But I'm sensing that here too. Maybe you had a Spider-Man meme moment where you're like, oh my god, are we related or something? Like, you know, who told you that? Like, where did you get that information? I've had something like that for sure, meeting people where they say something and I'm like, I've never said that out loud. How do you know that this? Or like, I've never heard anyone else say this. How do you relate to this? You know? For your song, we have Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight and the Pips. So I'd rather live in this world than live without him in mine. Yeah. That is a beautiful song, first of all. But it talks about, you know, it opens up with her saying LA proved too much for the man. So it's like, I'm kind of sensing this person, maybe you're a city person, and this person, you know, comes here and they say they want to go live in the middle of nowhere, and you never ever ever had that thought in mind. You never wanted that. You never wanted to, you know, leave the city, leave the rush of the nightlife, or, you know, maybe you love having the convenience of everything there for you, you know, instead of living somewhere where town is an hour away, you know, and the hospital's an hour away, or whatever the case is. But maybe this person wanted a different life than what you wanted, and you found yourself, you know, maybe as an emperor in reverse here, you found yourself flipped upside down going, you know, I'll give up my dreams, my hopes, everything I've ever thought for myself and planned for the future, everything I ever had in mind. I will, you know, let it go and do what you want to do for this person that you perhaps transformed for. You know, maybe they changed that within you. Maybe you realized, you know, there is somebody out there in the world that is worth changing my hopes and dreams over. Remember when my dog always loves to drink his water right when I'm reading. So anyway, as I was saying, yeah, maybe you found yourself in a position where you were willing to change the integral desires of your heart for somebody else. And all I want to say here is, did they change the integral desires of their heart for you? You know, would they be willing to do that for you? So I think that's part of why we have the Emperor sitting here upright, not in reverse, because you're supposed to stand your ground. If your life dream is to live in a damn skyscraper, then you should be able to achieve that. And if you want to compromise with somebody, then compromise on a house, you know, 30 minutes outside of the city instead of somewhere in the middle of nowhere to appease somebody else. You know, find a middle ground. It's okay to compromise. It's not okay to abandon your integral heart's desires, okay? Let's look at your message cards a little bit here. I want to come back. Do they? My friends interfered. I let them. Did you? I settle for other people. And who is this here? And light bulb realization. So maybe this person is on your mind because one or both of you had a realization about the other one or about the situation. And perhaps they want to come back and tell you this, that their friends gave them, or, you know, maybe your friends gave you. Somebody's friends gave somebody bad advice. They said, oh, forget this person. They did all that to you. They don't love you. They don't like you, you know, whatever. And it's like, at the end of the day, we're not in each other's situations. And sometimes we give fatal predictions on other people's things just because it's not affecting us, and why should we care that much, you know? So I think maybe somebody here gave saboteur type of advice. They didn't want you to be happy with this person, or they didn't know the full you know, scenario here in the situation. They didn't understand the gravity of the feelings, perhaps, you know, and you guys were both vulnerable. And so whoever took this bad advice, you know, I guess things happen, don't they? So if it was you, maybe that's the Page of Pentacles saying, tell them, you know, my friends told me this and I shouldn't have believed it. And also with the Five of Wands card, I'm kind of getting that as well. You know, what is the universe communicating to you about this person? Maybe that there was too many people involved here. It's only supposed to be about 2 people. The only card that has multiple is this one. I mean, this one has animals, but this one has, you know, 5 people fighting. And so maybe it's supposed to just be about you 2, and then you both have 3 people hanging around the space, making a mess of things, putting their opinions in, deciding for you what you should do. And obviously when too many people try to change a dang light bulb, you know, what gets done? What gets done? Yeah, so if they want to come back and you're willing to let them, and you want to have this conversation where you decide, you know, I shouldn't have let other people get involved. I shouldn't have listened to other people's opinions. It is up to you to make that decision and to rectify the situation, right? For your love oracle card, we have Heart with a Key. Welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart, getting together, perfect, right? Wow, that's beautiful. So perhaps you are both realizing you had stronger feelings for each other than, you know, intended, than you first thought, than you allowed yourself to believe, okay? Maybe that's what this card here is telling you, that there is love here. At the same time, this could be, if this person is from the past and you don't want anything to do with them, that there is new love on the way. Regardless, pile number 1, there is love for you. You're meeting the one. And I mean, the word perfect is not something we should throw around lightly. So a perfect situation, if it's perfect for you, then that's incredible. Your self-care card is build strength. So maybe you need to literally hit the gym, lift some weights, you know, or maybe you just need to gain some emotional strength. So ask for advice, work on things, ask yourself, why does it make me so upset when someone said this to me? Why did it affect me this way when that happened? You know, whatever. Build strength in whatever area of your life you can tell that you are, you know, a little weak in. Work out those areas of your mind that speak against you. Talk back, right? When they say you're worthless, say, no, I'm not. Say, I am worthy. When they say you failed, say, no, I didn't. I tried, and that is the first step to winning, right? You can't fail if you don't try. You can't succeed if you don't fail at one point. So build strength, pile number 1, whatever that means for you. Your angel answer card is the situation will improve. So yes, I sense that there was just a misunderstanding here with you and this person, and that there will be a resolution. I'm just getting that from all these things combined. But yeah, stand your ground. Don't change your whole life for somebody else unless they're willing to do the same for you. Your Moon Witch card is last quarter. What is holding you back? So, what is holding you back? Maybe it's been that you had this misunderstanding and it has festered in your heart space. You've been feeling like this person doesn't love you and they said something and you've been upset about it, and instead of addressing it, you've just been making it worse and worse and bigger in your head. At the same time, it could be maybe your family holds you back. Maybe you have controlling people in your life, people that you feel owed to in a way, so you can't just run away from them, like family maybe. But at the same time, if your people that are supposed to love you and support you and be there for you are holding you back from beautiful love, from great things, from being the emperor who has boundaries and holds their ground, maybe you are supposed to distance yourself from those people. What is holding you back? Get rid of it. Ask the universe to help you get rid of it. For your chakra card, you have gossip. Okay, so maybe you heard something again through the grapevine that you heard wrong. People love to embellish. People love to talk about things they don't know anything about, right? People love to assume, and people do not love to apologize. They do not love to backtrack and correct themselves, right? So if you heard something and that is what caused a breakup or something, and instead of addressing the situation, talking it out with the person, you took someone's word as gospel, maybe you need to reevaluate things and say, hey, did you mean this when you said this? Or what did you mean? Or hey, I heard that this happened. I never asked to make sure. Did this happen? Let them tell you. And then first quarter moon in Libra, keep your heart open. If you'll notice, there's actually a typo. It says keep your heart open. I don't remember ever seeing that before, and it's kind of cracking me up. So I wonder what the deal is there. But yes, keep your heart open. When you have a new moon in Libra, even full moon in Libra, I want to say is pleasant. Libra is just uplifting. I have to admit, I'm not the strongest when it comes to remembering all the tie-ins of various signs and various placements, but I have had personal good experiences with Libra new moons specifically. And this is a quarter, first quarter moon in Libra. So I think it's just when the moon is in Libra, especially when it's a new moon or a full moon, right? But this quarter moon, right? When the moon is in Libra, I think it's a very good chance for us to look at our partnerships, look at our relationships, our friendships, our acquaintances, our coworkers, and appreciate them in a new light and go, you know what? There's a lot of messed up people in the world, and I don't like this coworker, but if I had to have one coworker to hate, I'm glad it's them and not somebody else, because there's crazy freaking people out there in the world, you guys. And maybe, I don't know why I went on that tangent, but maybe this card is here to remind you that there's plenty to be thankful for. There's plenty to love. Sometimes we maybe feel dissatisfied with what we have in life, the people in our life, and we have to go around, look around, and take stock of who it is that the universe has us to learn from and to build relationships with. And sometimes that enemy you made helped you learn a valuable lesson, which is who not to trust, maybe, and so in this situation, maybe there's other people like this friend that told you something that you took to heart that you shouldn't have, okay? And it maybe caused you to close your heart. And this is saying to leave it open, don't be afraid, and just know now not to trust that kind of friend. That was not a friend, okay? What they said was hurtful because they're a hurtful person, not because it was true, okay? Sometimes people say things because they don't want you to be happy. Sometimes people are just plain freaking jealous, It's just crazy. But under here, we have a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. So I sense a resurgence with this pile, with this person, with this couple. If, I try to go either which way when I read these, but if you feel like this is not about somebody you want to have a resurgence with, then you can totally pick a new pile. But heart with a key, the death is transformation. So this person could be coming back brand new in a new way. Maybe you did have an ending and they've worked on themselves. They've realized the error of their ways. They realize they shouldn't trust gossip. They realize, they were closing their heart off to the wrong person, that you were right there ready to love them and they weren't ready to accept it. So pile number 1, just build strength in the situation. I'm hearing emotional strength, mental strength. Sometimes going to the gym helps you with both of those things, funny enough, right? So do what you need to do to feel good, to feel secure, to feel like the emperor. If you are ready to offer a stable little new beginning here, then that is your prerogative. And I see things as being protected here. With the World card, I think they think about you too. Maybe they're on your mind because they're constantly thinking about a chance at a new beginning. So at the same time, the Page of Pentacles could be your advice that when you get this new beginning, make sure that it's stable. Make sure that it's slow and steady winning the race and not rushing to a finish line that you can't even see yet. So pile number 1, I loved reading your reading today. I hope you enjoyed hearing it. Please do me the favor of liking, commenting, and subscribing so that I can see you in a future reading, and so that my readings can get out there to other people as well who might need some answers. So thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you in the future, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you and bye-bye. Pile number 2. Well. If you chose the tidal wave card, then this is going to be your reading. I cannot stop smiling. I feel so giddy from ear to ear. So why is this person on your mind? First of all, who is this person? Pile number 2, is this person just the love of your life? We have the 10 of Cups to represent this person. So this person is loving. This person is abundant. This person is just everything, right? I have a little voice that's telling me perhaps this person already has a family, which is just terrible, and you should click off because I will not be reading for that. But yeah, I'm sensing that this person is just the love of your life. They are maybe just so in tune with their emotions. They make you feel complete. You talk to them and you're like just so happy. You're like, this is exactly the kind of person I've been hoping to find in my life. So why are they on your mind? The Lovers card, what do you mean? Because you guys are meant to be. Maybe this is a surprising meeting for you that you've never, maybe you newly met each other and you're like, whoa, what's the deal here? But yeah, this person, the Lovers here. So maybe you love them, they love you. The universe wants to push you together, something like that. And then for are you on their mind, we have the 9 of Cups. So I'm going to say, yeah, that is the cup of emotional fulfillment. So I think they think about you and you make them happy, What's missing in the 9 of Cups? Just 1 cup, and that is you. That's what creates the two pair, the couple there with the 2 kids and the beautiful life. And what are they? They're like swinging on a hammock rainbow or something. Anyway, I think that this person thinks about you. You guys are just in, oh my god, this is like so cute. You guys are sorry, you guys are both looking at each other like, oh, you're the one, I love you. You think about each other at the same time. You're like, you probably think about songs and they remind you of each other. My gosh. So yes, obviously they freaking think about you too. You both are thinking about each other at the same time. So what is the universe communicating to you about this person? We have the Justice card. So I think this is just here to say, like, you both feel the same way. The scale is even, okay? The scale is balanced. You fill each other's cup. You want the same things. There's not, I mean, goodness me. You want the same things. You both, you want the white picket fence with the beautiful house, on the hill overlooking the water with the kids and the dogs or the farm animals. Whatever ideal life you have in mind, they do too, and they want it with you. Oh my goodness, okay? And I want to say with the Justice card, justice will come to the situation. So if you're like, how will we be together? How will we get there? You will. It'll just happen, okay? It's meant to be, is kind of what I'm hearing. That's the verdict. That's the verdict. You're meant to be. And then we have guidance and advice from the universe. So we have the wheel. So this could be, maybe you're currently in a cycle and maybe you're not actually together right now for some reason. And it's just a cycle you have to go through before you get there. The Wheel of Fortune, right? It's like, I know it's not as simple as hitting the lottery, but with this specific spread, I'm kind of feeling that, like, you feel like you found your perfect pair, and if anything, it was just destined to be. It's like karma, like you were meant to meet your perfect person here. And any advice, guidance with Five of Wands could be stop fighting. Maybe you guys bicker about stupid things. Maybe you let your friends get involved and you listen to bad advice. Don't listen to bad advice. These friends or whatever, quote unquote friends, so-called friends, right, who are telling you to not go for this person, maybe they just don't want to see you happy. I, in my life, feel like it has been like my duty to be like the relationship therapist of any friend group I've ever been in. Like, I've always been there for people. I've always given them wonderful advice, and I have only ever been given terrible advice or like something, I don't know what it is. I have my sun in the 7th house, and maybe you do too, and maybe that is something about it, that your partner is the one in your life, not the only person ever, but that's somebody in your life that is meant to treat you wonderfully. And so maybe you have friends that sense this and are jealous, because not everyone is, I guess, destined for that to be their most ultimate, beautiful, perfect partnership, I guess. Sometimes that's just their mommy, right? Sometimes it's their sibling or their friend. But I see you as a person who is destined to be treated wonderfully by their partner. You're meant to have your perfect pair and to be emotionally fulfilled and to have like ultimate satisfaction when it comes to love and relationships, okay? But letting other people get in the way is just going to prolong getting to that point. So don't let other people give you bad advice. Don't be fighting about stupid stuff. Yeah, I mean, all these people are just climbing over each other to get to the top. So if there are dumb arguments or weird advice that's being given to you, take note of this, act accordingly. Don't let people block your blessings. Yes, in the end, it's you that ends up blocking them, but it's them that influences this. So don't be influenced by that. For your Wild Child Oracle card, we have Desolate Tree. So yes, maybe you're in a drought. Maybe you're just someone who thinks of what it's like to have your perfect partner, and you're like, why can't I stop thinking about love? Okay, maybe that's what it is. You're like, I always, go on YouTube and look for tarot readings about my future soulmate, and I'm always trying to find the ultimate answer of to where they are and how I can get to them. And I just feel so empty without them. And like, maybe that is just, maybe you both feel the same way. Okay. Maybe you both feel like, you know, where is my person? I feel so alone in this world. I feel like it's just me against everybody. Where's my person? And the thing is, I think you need to stop letting other people mucky up your perception of what is right, what is wrong, and the correct order of things. So maybe you feel like all my friends have already been dating and they're engaged and they're getting married and having kids and like moving on with their lives, and I'm still over here looking for my perfect person. Being picky only ever gets you the perfect person. A lot of people marry exactly 18 right out of high school, whatever it is, and then find themselves unhappy 10 years down the line with 3 kids and, you know, somebody who's still maybe they're the same person that they met in junior high, like we still act like we're 14 here. And because you decided to take the longer road and search for your ultimate fulfillment, your 10 of Cups Lover's card, your 9 of Cups, your equal balanced scales, you are going to be the one winning in the end. So if you're feeling desolate, don't, okay? Just work on your things, which would be to not take bad advice, to not fight over dumb things. If you're all fighting for the common goal here, you would much sooner achieve that goal if you all helped each other. So, and you know what? The more I'm looking at this card, the more that's what it looks like. It looks like they're all kind of holding, these two definitely look like they're both reaching for the fire at the same time, but it looks like they're all kind of holding their staffs, their wands up to help get their way to the flame. But yes, I think that is your advice. Work together to meet that common goal, okay? And then for your song, we have Take Me Where Your Heart Is by Q. I'm so into you, but I don't know where I've been. So maybe when you meet this perfect person, you're going to be overwhelmed to the point where you don't even know what to do, what to say, how to go about this. Maybe they'll feel the same way. At the same time, maybe you meet them and you think, wow, they've probably, been with a lot of people, experienced a lot of life that perhaps you've not experienced. And so I just want to encourage you to not feel that way, okay? The right person's going to love you for you. And especially if you're looking for that 10 of Cups, you're going to find it. Just don't settle for less, continue to work towards the common goal. For your message cards, we have New Moon in Libra. I love my relationships. I was just talking about this in pile number 1 because I got that card for you. But yes, the new moon in Libra is a beautiful time. At least I experienced a really beautiful one that I still think back to. And it was really just a nice feeling of being so appreciative of all the people in my life. I even these people I hated at work, I was like, you know what, they're not so bad, So yeah, maybe you're just going through that lovely moment right now where you're just like, everything feels okay. There's not a lot of fighting at home. And, like I said, maybe your coworkers are being decent. If you're in school, maybe things are going nicely in your classes. And maybe you're just somebody who is in a relationship and you're just here for fun. And yeah, you're feeling like, yeah, I love my relationship. I love my person. We're happy. We're good. We have deception, masks, hiding. Someone's being dishonest. Could be big, could be small. Is a white lie still a lie? So could be somebody here, but I have a feeling that there's friends that are trying to mucky up the waters, just like I said, because all of your guys' cards are positive. The only ones that are less than would be like the 5 of Wands, in my opinion, which is, immature fighting. That's just all I ever hear from that card. No, I want it. No, I want it. It's mine. It's mine. He did it. She did it. You know, like, it's just stupid. So it could be somebody there and they're just trying to say, well, I just think that they're not good for you because, and they're freaking lying to you. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you with that person. They're jealous, you know. So I don't think it's this person. Tailor this to what fits for you, but I think it's more of somebody trying to interfere. So then we have, you can't make the horse drink, I'll never ask you to stay. And you opened up my heart. So real quick, I want to say this could be your first love. Maybe this was somebody that you really, really fell in love with, and, you know, perhaps you're not in a relationship, and perhaps you don't even want to be in a relationship, okay? I felt a lot of like exuberance and joy when I first started your reading here, but I think that is just a positive note to say you both feel the same way. You both look back at each other and think, I loved them so much. They're the love of my life. You know, we were so good together. We were a perfect pair. I feel so happy knowing that I met them at all. I feel so happy knowing that they were in my life, that we got to be those people for each other, right? Yeah, and you know, so you can't make the horse drink. I'll never ask you to stay. Maybe this was your energy here, or maybe this was theirs. Maybe they really liked you, but they felt like they were holding you back in some way, vice versa. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of positivity here. I want to say that if you were to reach out to this person, if this is no contact, okay, they would be happy to hear from you. I can't guarantee where they stand in life. I can't guarantee that they're not in another relationship perhaps, but they have wonderful feelings about you. And with Justice card, there will be justice. You know, the verdict here is the scales are balanced. So if you're worried about that, if you're worried that, do they even think about me ever? They do. If you're worried, you know, did they feel this way about me too? They do, or they did, okay? And yeah, with the wheel, it could have just been a cycle, but that's nothing to, with the Five of Wands, to bicker with your friends about, to let them tell you they didn't care about you or it wasn't that serious, because from all these cards, it was. Maybe you were really each other's perfect pair, and that's why you can't stop thinking about them, and it looks like they can't stop thinking about you. We also have sunglasses. Watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. So again, I think other people are trying to get in the middle of this. No bueno. I think that this person might be watching you. Maybe this person misses you just like you miss them, or they think about you just like you think about them. I truly think you guys think about each other at the same time. Yeah, they hide their true feelings, or you do. Maybe that is the problem, that you guys were never honest about how you truly felt, and at the end of it here, there was full-blown love. It wasn't just a crush. That's not a page. That's not a knight. It's not an ace. That is 9 of Cups. That is the 10 of Cups. That's the Lovers. The only thing here that can make this more intense would be the Queen and the King of Cups, in my opinion. I feel like you guys just really love each other, or loved each other. I think you do love each other. I think there is present love here. I think you both didn't want to hold each other back in some type of way. Maybe you were the relationship that got you guys to open your eyes and realize how much love you have within you, and how much there is to love in the world and out of life in general. So pile number 2. Don't feel desolate. There's love on both sides. And with the tidal wave, it probably feels like such a rush of emotion that creeps up on you and just grabs you, you know. But there is love on both sides here. And I think people were jealous and they tried to ruin a really, really, really good thing. So don't listen to other people. Communicate clearly, as your angels are asking you to do here. So yeah, maybe there was misunderstandings. Maybe there was hurt feelings because of something that was said through somebody else. Somebody said, hey, so-and-so said this, and you were like, what the hell? Why would they say that? And instead of going to the person saying, why would you say that? This other person that, that stirred the pot, this not so friend here, did it because they knew you wouldn't go and check to make sure, So maybe there's just been this misunderstanding that's just been hanging over both of your heads. And then we have health checkups. So maybe one or both of you needs to go get checked up. Maybe you have so much anxiety and it's time to ask for help. Maybe you have a problem you've been ignoring and it needs a doctor's help, and it's not something that's just going to go away on its own. Maybe you're experiencing some depression, these are all positive cards, except we get to your oracle cards and I see that there is some, some anxiety, and it's revealing to me that there were outside influences that weren't the best. So maybe you need to go to a therapist and say, I realized my friends weren't my friends and I'm really struggling to accept that. Okay. We have instinct. So yeah, maybe your instincts were telling you to not trust somebody or to trust somebody. Maybe you didn't follow your instincts. Maybe you did. Maybe you're supposed to. At the same time, we need to learn how to tampen down our instincts at times, right? Like when our dogs are barking at the door non-stop. There's nobody there. Like maybe they hear a dog in the neighborhood, but they're just barking non-stop, And so you need to train them, okay, that's enough. Let's be quiet now for a while. So maybe you have instincts that are always telling you don't trust anybody. Always be on high alert. Like, trust your friends, right? But maybe in this case, you need to not trust your friends. Maybe you have instincts that are telling you somebody's not being honest and you need to explore that. There's a reason you feel that download. For your Moon Witch cards, you're the only pile that got 2. You got Isis, cast spells, protect, and heal. So yeah, maybe you need to manifest healing in the situation. Maybe you need to manifest this person coming back. Maybe you need to manifest healing for yourself. Again, with health checkup, maybe you need to literally go get some medicine and manifest this healing by taking an antibiotic, And then you have Ceres, love and mother yourself, or Ceres, I don't know. Love and mother yourself. And that's a cute little card of a mom and a baby. So yeah, maybe you have a mother wound and you have to mother yourself. Maybe just in this situation, this is just a time when you need to literally do it with me. Pet your hair and tell yourself it's okay. You're good. You're trying your best. There's always going to be a positive on the other side of things, Just have some compassion for yourself as a mother would. What would you say to yourself if you were your own mother? Okay? We have first quarter moon in Leo. Be humble. So I'm going to say be humble, pile number 2. This person loves you. You found your perfect pair. Being picky won this time. Being picky saved you and got you where you wanted to be this time. And maybe people don't want you to know that. Maybe people, like I said, are just jealous that you're able to get such wonderful things over your manifestation ability. So be humble about that. And then we have nothing is yet set in stone. So pile number 2, if you told this person to go kick rocks, it's not too late. I'm getting very young energy from this pile. It doesn't mean you have to be young, but maybe you met this person when you were young. Maybe you are currently young and you feel like too much time has passed. But perhaps you're looking forward to, you know, another 40 or so years, 50 years of your life left to live, or more. I don't know why I'm cutting things short here. Some people live over 100, you know, but maybe you have a long, long life left to live, and instead of telling yourself that and acting in accordance, you're telling yourself you've screwed up, you've made a mistake, it's too late. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. Nothing is yet set in stone. You have plenty of time to change course, to get what you want, to go back to this person. If your friends led you astray and told you they weren't the right person for you, and you listened to them and you took bad advice, it's not too late to go to this person and say, look, I took bad advice. You know, I've always wanted somebody just like you. I've never felt more emotionally connected to somebody than I did to you. And I can't stop thinking about you. And, you know, it's always nice to squeeze in a little. I understand if you don't feel the same way. But they, I believe, do, okay? I don't want to lead anyone astray here, but I fully believe that this person has really good intentions for you, and good feelings, good emotions. You might both be each other's perfect pairing, which is amazing and crazy. I'm just kind of hearing, perhaps you're going through a cycle currently, and so you just need to get through it, and you need to not take bad advice, not fight over immature things, not listen to friends that are clearly jealous. Maybe your advice is also to take stock of your friends and realize who has been there for you and who has not, who only shows up when you have a, you know, should I or shouldn't I question, and they always say, no, don't do it. You know, who in your life is actually your friend and who is just the peanut gallery. So pile number 2, I really liked this reading. I sense that there is an intensity here for you. Maybe you should listen to that song, Take Me Where Your Heart Is. Gosh, it's just kind of giving like the end of the movie when the couple realizes that everyone was trying to get in the way, and then they see each other and they meet each other, and then they're kissing on the football field or whatever. Yeah, pile number 2, that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you do me the favor of please liking, subscribing, commenting down below, letting me know what pile you picked, what resonated from it, and if you would share with anybody too, would be wonderful. Help my readings get out there for anybody else who might need some answers. And I do hope to see you in a future reading. So thank you so much. Bye-bye. Pile number 3, if you chose the California Sunset card, then this is going to be your reading. So why is this person on your mind? First, I want to know who this person is. We have King of Pentacles. So this could be somebody who represents stability to you. They could be somebody who you think is stubborn. I just heard. They could be plainly just an earth sign. Maybe they are somebody who you have had long-standing feelings for. Okay, maybe it's kind of a these feelings, this relationship, your emotions towards this person have truly stood the test of time. You know, think about like a rock, steady like a rock, you know? And so maybe that's just how this connection has really felt to you. Like no matter what, you always think about this person, okay? So maybe that's what it is. They're just like a rock. They're always steady on your mind, okay? For the 4 of Cups as why they're on your mind, you're contemplating how things went down. So maybe you look back and wonder why things went down the way they did. What you could have done, what they could have done, what you wish would have happened. Maybe you think if I hadn't made this decision, we'd be here right now. Or you think if I was with this person, what would my life look like, you know? And If you look at the traditional illustration of the card, it's somebody being offered a fourth cup. They've got 3 sitting around them, and they're offered a fourth cup, and they're not interested. They're not even looking at it. They don't care. And it's almost like you are kind of determined to be dissatisfied maybe. But I also want to say my intuition, right, is telling me that this person who you, as the person on this 4 of Cups card, as you're looking away, ignoring that card being, or that cup being offered to you, what you're thinking is of all these things, what would have happened? So it's not necessarily that you are dissatisfied. You're not really giving the cup a chance, and you're thinking to yourself, what have I done? You know, maybe you are, I'm kind of getting like 4 of Swords-ish energy. You're kind of feeling like that sort of contemplation in your thoughts of like, what did I do? And obviously there's cups here, it's emotion. So you're thinking of maybe a lost opportunity in love, and did you make the right decision maybe by not pursuing it harder? For them, are you on their mind? They have the 9 of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles. So I just want to show you really quick. The 9 of Wands in the traditional deck is this guy. Stressed out. He's holding one and looking at the rest like, oh my God. So one translation might tell you that they're not, because they're stressed out and they've got enough on their plate. But I think if anything, they try not to, yes, because when they think about you, they do get stressed out. Maybe it feels like a lot. The 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Wands both are just cards of being overburdened, overwhelmed, holding a lot. I mean, resilience, so he's trying his best here. But 9 of Wands, that's too many wands. It's not a good place to be. So part of me wants to say that there was a lot of passion. There was a lot of maybe problems. Maybe you have, he, they, she, you know, this person also has a lot of what ifs that they review sometimes, okay? And with 7 of Pentacles, maybe they try very hard to focus on their day-to-day. They try to focus on the things that they have going for them. They feel impatient with the fruits of their labor, perhaps, but they try their best to water and prune and fertilize what they have in front of them. And every now and then, they might look at that pentacle of you guys. Maybe you're one of those 7. And they look at it and they think, do I water it or let it die? Do I throw it out and plant something new? You know, will this ever fruit? I'm hearing. So perhaps they're not thinking about you right now, but I think when they do, they think, will anything ever happen again? Will anything ever come of it? What would have happened? And, you know, will we ever, you know, get the chance? Is this pentacle ever going to produce fruit? Yes. So yes, I don't think they think about you constantly, but I think they do think about you every now and then. It's not never, it's just they stay busy. They stay busy with work, with relationships. They probably are in another relationship if you aren't together, and they try to stay busy. And when they have nothing to do and they're alone and there's, you know, no work left and no calls to answer, they think about pile number 3 and they wonder if they should have, you know, pruned and fertilized and watered a little bit more before they tried to harvest. Okay. For what is the universe communicating to you about this person? We have 8 of Swords. First of all, I think you are creating a bigger problem in your head than there is. Maybe you blame yourself over this person or ending or whatever it was, and you think that you did everything wrong. You should have tried harder. You shouldn't have said what you said. You know, you should have paid more attention, whatever. And the thing is, you are creating these problems to be bigger. You're creating anxieties for yourself. You're lining them up one after the other. You're thinking of new things to stress out about. And at the same time, this person is you know, I want to say just as guilty, if there's guilt to be had in the situation, as you. So self-victimization isn't just, you know, poor me. It could also be you deciding that you've been the one to do it all. And now, oh no, everything's terrible, poor me, because I messed everything up. But it's not that you messed everything up. So just get out of your anxiety with Wheel of Fortune. This is telling me that this was perhaps an inevitable cycle. You were always going to meet somebody who made you feel this way. You were always going to meet this person. You know, I'm hearing maybe this was somebody who felt like a very happenstance meeting. And so maybe that's part of why you kick yourself, because you feel like, you know, we wouldn't have met if this crazy life thing didn't happen. You know, I'm hearing COVID. So if you met somebody during the pandemic, you know, a lot of us took on random weird jobs, side jobs to make some extra money, or to stay employed, you know. Some people, maybe it was your chance to go back to school or something, and you met somebody through your online classes even, you know. And so you think back to that time and you're like, you know, what could I have done differently? But it's like, you know, it felt like this weird, fated thing, and that's just because it was, you know. I'm hearing that it was inevitable. This cycle was always going to happen. You know, maybe there was always going to be an ending, or at the same time, maybe a new cycle is going to be beginning. So maybe you need to get out of your anxiety and get ready for a new cycle, dude. With 6 of Swords, transition, yeah. So maybe this new cycle is you transitioning to calmer waters, getting out of the anxiety and going to calmer waters, where you can experience 9 of Pentacles, abundance, self-abundance, self-success, independence, just all the wonderful things that a hardworking Pentacles person wants to receive. And I just want to point out that right under there we have full moon, harvest the fruits of your hard work. So pile number 3, I think you need to get out of your anxieties and just keep working, keep moving forward, go to calmer waters. You are allowing yourself to be more stressed out than you need to be. Maybe the universe wanted to stress you out a little bit, and then you just took on everything that you could find, and now they're like, whoa, like, we don't want this for you. Complete that cycle of anxiety and move on, okay? We have 9 of Pentacles, abundance. We need you to get there. You need to swim across the lake there and get there. So maybe you'll have a new mindset by the next full moon, and you're going to know what to do to get to that 9 of Pentacles. You're going to have an answer for what you want to do with your career, or what you want to do with the business you already have. Maybe you're improving things and you're going to be more successful, okay? So for extra messages and guidance, we have the Tower card in reverse and the Queen of Wands. So perhaps you are avoiding a shakeup. It doesn't have to be a big card. Maybe this is you, the universe telling you that you've narrowly avoided something crazy, but I think more so. Okay, real quick. Yes, I want to say some of you avoided a massive heartbreak by avoiding this person. If some of you already experienced heartbreak, then you did, okay? But with the Tower card in reverse, I'm seeing that maybe you're avoiding a conversation. It could be with this person. Maybe you're avoiding that catch-up phone call where you guys get everything off your chest. You say, I loved you. Yeah, I loved you too. You know, I never meant that, if that's what you thought. Well, no, but I heard that someone said this about you. Well, that's not true. Okay, well, you know, I've never stopped thinking about you, and I just hope you do well in life. Yeah, same to you. Like, you know, maybe that is the conversation, and it feels massive. It feels like a tower moment. It feels like a shakeup, because it's like closing a chapter that you want to, of a book that you want to read forever, okay? But perhaps you need to do that. And with the Queen of Wands, I think you need to be confident. The universe wants you to be confident, passionate. Call on your creative side. Maybe you are a creative person and you need to do more with your talents and you're not doing enough. Also, the word here is determination. So, yeah, maybe you need to reignite that flame of determination you have within yourself to do big things. Maybe when this conversation time comes around, you just need to be the Queen of Wands and say your truth. The Queen of Wands is somebody who is passionate. Perhaps they're not the most logical. Perhaps they don't always say the exact right thing in the most eloquent way, and all that. But she says what she wants to. She gets her point across. It's from the heart. Maybe they're not using the fanciest words like the Queen of Swords might, or concise words like the Queen of Swords might, or they're not using the most flowery, loving, sensitive language like the Queen of Cups would, or maybe they're not as earthy and quiet and stable and mellow like the Queen of Pentacles, but they are passionate, and it is truly from the heart. Like I said, it's like it's from the soul. This person, they mean it. They're confident. They're hot too. Heyo. So just be yourself. I'm hearing to step into your Leo energy. Okay. Your oracle cards here. For your wild child oracle card, you have the tree remembers. So again, I kind of was sensing that with the King of Pentacles as your first card to describe your person. Maybe this is somebody you just will never forget, and you just know that, and maybe that stresses you out and that's part of your anxiety, but the universe doesn't want you to be anxious about that. They want you to realize it for what it was, which was perhaps an awakening moment, perhaps just a cycle in your life. Perhaps it is the stepping stone to get you to the little canoe, to get you to the calmer waters where your Nine of Pentacles abundance is, okay? Yeah. And so the tree does always remember, just like the elephant does. But we need to be thankful that we have, first of all, the capability. If somebody hurts you, it's good to be somebody that remembers that so you don't make the same mistakes again. 1414 on the clock. It's important to remember who you love and who loved you, and why they did and why you did and why it matters, right? It hurts sometimes to remember everything, the good and the bad, but it's a blessing. Your song is Malibu 1992 by the band Coin. I told my mom she'd love to meet you, but it's too bad you won't get the chance to. So, if this is in the context of somebody writing a song to somebody, they're telling them, right? My mom was, ready to meet you, and now she won't get the chance to. Maybe this person planned on introducing you to their mother, and it didn't happen. Maybe you planned on introducing them to yours, and it didn't happen. Maybe this is all just a clue here to say you both had strong feelings for each other. You intended on perhaps going the distance with one another, with calling it forever, with saying you're done searching, like call off the search, this is the one. And then, it was like you spoke too soon and it didn't work out. Okay, that's kind of what that song is. It's like, remember back in the day when we were happy and we thought we were going to be together, but now you're over here with them doing this and you're doing your own thing, and it's just kind of melancholy nostalgia. For your message cards, we have, we never got to share our scars, we never got to the good part. Love, Lorne. So pile number 3, maybe you are lovelorn and that's why they're on your mind. And you need to be gentle with yourself, okay? At the same time, you could be on their mind, and so you could be in this energy together. Like I said, I think they try to keep themselves busier than you appear to. It looks like you're at a point with contemplation where you're actually thinking about it, and then they're at a point where they're not willing to, okay? So yeah, maybe this was a very powerful connection for both of you, and so you deal with it in different ways, as happens a lot of the time. We're like two puppies. So maybe you guys cuddled like two puppies. Maybe you guys played like two puppies where you're, biting, pinching, chasing. Maybe every time you guys see each other, it's like one of you wants to jump on the other one, like, I found you, I got you. Just like puppies do. And so maybe that's just that feeling here, puppy love. Maybe you had puppy love, and it's very hard to move on from. Maybe that's just the whole story here, is you don't really move on from that sweet first serious connection. We have midheaven in the 10th house, or midheaven 10th. Obviously those are the same thing, but yes, so perhaps you fell into theirs or they fell into yours. Perhaps you met at work, like I said, with the King of Pentacles. And you know what, real quick, since we're discussing work in the midheaven and all that, with the 7 of Gems, the 7 of Pentacles, I want to say that they do think back to that time. If you guys did work together, go to school together, if this was someone you knew from your daily routines, like they were your barista and or baristo or whatever, your coffee guy, coffee person, every time you saw them, right, you'd see them on your day-to-day, and you wonder if they still think about you. It could be that. It could be just somebody that used to give you your morning bagel every day, and you wonder if they still wonder about you because you've moved and you're not there, but you always had a crush on them and hoped they would ask you out. And maybe you had a feeling that they wanted you to ask them out because it was their place of work and it's unprofessional for them to do that to you or whatever. Like, I don't know. This person, I think, does think back to it. Maybe they just think like, oh, that was my coworker or customer or somebody that stuck out to me. But they think about those times. They do. They stand out to them as well, even if it's not as much as you, where it seems like you're like really eating yourself up over this. So I'm not trying to say that you're not as important to them as they are to you, but I think that you hold a lot of weight around the situation. You put a lot of anxiety, a lot of burden on your shoulders and surrounding yourself about the situation that you just don't need to. It's not yours to carry. It's not your burden to carry. So yes, just take that to heart, pile number 3, that you are not supposed to take this to heart, okay? This heaviness. So always opposite sister signs. The signs depicted here are Pisces and Virgo. So maybe one of you is a Pisces. Maybe one of you is a Virgo. Sun, moon, Venus, rising. Maybe you guys are Gemini and Sagittarius, or Leo and Aquarius. Maybe you're just people who are, sister signs, your opposite signs. And this creates a very strange relationship sometimes, where you do feel very drawn to each other, and maybe you disagree on fundamental levels sometimes. Think about a Taurus and a Scorpio. To some people they might be nothing alike, but then to others you might see the similarities. Like they both enjoy good food, for instance, even though Taurus is known for more of the luxury. And then, sorry, I got interrupted. So yes, even though Taurus is known for more of the luxury side of things, being ruled by Venus, and Scorpio is known for, going through intense change and being a part of the occult and taboo type things, and being ruled by Pluto, you know? So it's just perhaps that dynamic of you're opposite but the same, and it's very confusing because on the one hand you think you're the exact same person, and then you think we disagree on so many things here, or we're, you know, maybe you fight a lot because of this opposite energy here. And then we have, finally, I want to mark you up. So obviously there is sexual tension of some kind here on one or both sides. I want to say it is mutual. Hopefully, I mean, it does. I have lovelorn there at the top, so you know, it could just be you, pile number 3, that is feeling lovelorn. You just feel like, you know, you never got to the good part, you never got to share your true selves with each other, and you never got to perhaps the good part, you know. That is, I'm kind of sensing that too. It's like you never got to the completion of a relationship with this person, and so you kind of feel like you missed out. You like, maybe you don't think about that sort of thing often, but this is the one person you think back like, man, I wish we had actually just had a relationship at least, you know. I wish I had more to miss than just these coffee getting interactions at the local coffee shop or whatever the hell it was, you know. And then we have girl with a snake, empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable, and boundaries. So maybe this was you in the past with this connection, okay? Maybe you were somebody who would fall for the wrong things, or you know, you didn't have good boundaries. Maybe somebody, this person even, encouraged bad qualities or bad habits of yours. And maybe this connection all in all was just not very good, or I want to say maybe somebody got in the way. The past 2 piles each had a 5 of Wands card, which to me is just immature fighting, people trying to get in the way. And usually in a reading like this would be, to me, friends, quote unquote friends, who give bad advice on purpose because they want you to not be happy with somebody else, you know. They want you to be single like them or whatever. So I kind of feel like maybe that was you. You had a snake who was telling you the wrong things and you were charmed, you know. They were telling you this person didn't love you, and they did. Or maybe they told you, you know, not to bother, you shouldn't try, and now you look back like, man, I shouldn't have listened to that person, they're just a narcissist, you know. At the same time, this could be the person on your mind. Maybe you are dealing with a narcissistic person and dynamic, and you have a very hard time, you struggle to move on from it, and that is totally understandable, and in which case I want to encourage you to find therapy, or even just doing your own research on how to heal from these things. If this was a parent, a boss, right? If your old boss is on your mind and you're like, why is this person on my mind? I hate them and they were terrible, you know, you need to heal from it, I think. So we have your angel answer of perfect timing. So maybe you have just always wondered what the deal with everything is. Okay, what's the deal with this person? You know, we never got to the good part. I thought we were so good together like puppies. You know, we're opposites. So on the one hand, we attract each other, but then on the other hand, we disagree sometimes. I think your angels are just saying the timing will be perfect, okay? So if it didn't work out in your eyes, it was what it was supposed to be, okay? If you want them back in your life, or have always felt like maybe they will, this is a card to say it will all be in perfect timing, okay? So don't be, maybe if you're here trying to find the next step, where do I go? How do I find this person and continue this cycle? It's all going to happen in perfect timing. It's not something that you can just make happen yourself. So your moon card is take time to breathe out. Decimating moon. So yes, this might be a situation you have to release in a way, maybe just in an emotional sense, you know. It seems to be causing you a lot of anxiety. You're wrapped up in yourself, you're wrapped up in your thoughts. You're surrounded by all your swords here that you don't need to be surrounded by. And so take this time to breathe it out. Don't be anxious, okay? Let's work on, if we're contemplating our past here, let's work on being thankful for the parts that we miss, okay? Let's be thankful that they happened. And let's move on and learn from the mistakes we made. And let's not assume that this other person holds us to the same standard we're holding ourselves to. If we think, I never should have done that, I should have been perfect, they're not thinking pile number 3 should have been more perfect. They're thinking, man, it was a great, you know, time with pile number 3, and I do wonder how it would have gone if we had tried harder. You know, that's what they think. They don't think, oh, if pile number 3 hadn't ruined everything. They're just thinking kind of like you, like what would have happened. They do think about it that way, but it's more casual, less anxiety on their end, okay? So maybe you need to match their energy. You know what I just realized? You have abundance twice. You have abundance twice. I think you are destined to be rich. It's not always material wealth, but I'm kind of just getting it here, so I'm calling it. First of all, your self-care card is hydrate. My throat is a little bit dry if you can't tell by my scratchy vocal cords. But yes, you have abundance twice. And that was the full moon, harvest the fruits of your hard work. So pile number 3, I think you are destined for abundance. I think material gain, material wealth. I think you were supposed to, you know, you were always supposed to have a steady home, you know, a stable base, home base, healthy harvests all around you, you know, healthy pentacles. You're constantly getting new fruit produced, you know what I'm saying? Like with double abundance here, I think the universe is really trying to push you towards, you're supposed to be successful. You're not supposed to be wrapped up in anxiety. And this person is supposed to help you realize that you are meant for more than perhaps what your anxiety tells you. And then full moon in Scorpio, breathe through the tension. So I'm sensing that, yes, perhaps you have felt a lot of tension with this connection, with this person on your mind. Take time to breathe out. How crazy is it that both your moon cards from different decks both say to breathe? You obviously need that reminder. Take a drink of water, take a breath, breathe through the tension, breathe out, you know, the past. This person was always supposed to help you get to the next stage where you can be an abundant person, and somebody who can handle hard conversations, who can handle shakeups, and who comes out of it hot like the Queen of Wands. You're determined. You know what you want to say, even if it doesn't come out perfectly. It gets your point across, and people listen to you. People pay attention to you, okay? Pile number 3, does this person think about you? I think they do sometimes, but they try not to. And I think you need to take a note from their book here. Take a page from their book, however the saying goes. Copy their way of doing things here, which is, I just have to wake up in the morning and focus on my work. I have to do my daily chores. You know, I have to water my pentacles. It's okay sometimes to think about, you know, that person. But we try our best to stay focused. I will say with that 9 of Wands, I don't think that person can hold up that shield of Wands for that long, because it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of, just like you, they have a lot, it's more stress for them. For you, it's internal anxiety in your head. But for them, they are kind of piling on different things onto their plate to stay busy, I think. And so eventually, you know, think about it this way. Eventually, something happens, like a bandage on the forehead there. He gets hit in the head, and then he looks over at all those wands. All he can hold is one, and he's like, oh my God. So I think, yes, this person thinks about you, and it's probably only when they get knocked down and have nothing else that they can focus on. And then now they have to focus on you. They have to keep themselves busy with relationships, with family, with work, with school. But when they have, you know, Christmas Day off, holidays off, families all preoccupied with each other, and they're just sitting there on their phone looking through old pictures or social media, they see you. They see something that reminds them of you, of that time, and it kind of gets them. And so I think you mirror each other, but in a different way, if that makes sense. Kind of like when somebody's looking over at water, over like a bowl of water, a pool of water, and you see yourself, but it's kind of like wobbly. So I think one of you feels wobbly when the other one feels clear, and then the other one feels clear, and then the other one feels wobbly, you know? So I think you guys maybe kind of exchange this energy, but the whole point of this meeting, of this relationship, connection, whatever, was not for you to dwell. It was for you to awaken and to reach that next step that brings you closer to abundance, that brings you closer to being a Queen of Wands. And yes, again, I see you avoiding some sort of tower moment with it being in reversed. Perhaps you avoided one and it was like a good thing, but more so, the tower is a good thing because it shows you what didn't work. It shows you what is shaky ground. It shows you where you need to rebuild again and how to do it, basically, because you're not going to make the same mistakes twice, hopefully. And so here I'm seeing that maybe you are avoiding that painful conversation, painful transition, painful change, upheaval, as the card depicts. And so I just want to encourage you to not be afraid. And, you know, if ending this cycle is that thing, don't be afraid. If, you know, ending your cycle of anxiety is something that scares you because you've been so used to being anxious, don't be afraid. It's time to end it. But in the end, of course, you are called to move into calmer waters, be abundant twice, and be the Queen of Wands, who is just hot and determined and is passionate and says things from the heart. So I'm feeling the need here to point out that it starts with the King of Pentacles and ends with the Queen of Wands. So maybe you have always had this thing where you look back at this person and think that they are so amazing, they're royalty, but you need to be reminded here that you are royalty. And perhaps on the other side of a shakeup is you realizing that and you coming into your power and being so super confident. 1414 again on the clock. Yes, thank you for being here, pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. This one was a longer one. You had a few more cards. If it didn't resonate, you can always go to a different pile here or even a different reading altogether. I hope you enjoyed. Please do me the favor of liking, commenting, and subscribing so that I can try and get my readings out to other people and answer some questions that other people may have for themselves and for maybe me. So yes, thank you for being here. I hope to see you in a future reading. Comment down below what your pile was and what resonated from it. And I hope to see you in the future. Bye-bye.